Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Simon, this is Brett.
Hello, and this
is not necessary.
is when he's waving.
Finished?
Yes.
Good. Do you know what year I was born? That
1980?
That should have been answered a bit quicker than that. I would have thought you'd have remembered my birthday or anything.
Well, I know your birthday, but I don't know the date. Hey?
Okay. So, when I was about 5 years old, do you know what big event happened?
No.
Well, in 1985, they discovered the whereabouts of the Titanic. And that made people have a very big interest in shipwrecks. And from 1985, after they discovered the Titanic, I got an interest in shipwrecks and I read the books and everything else about it.
The way you're making it sound is you jumped on the bandwagon.
No, things make you interested. But the thing is, back in the 80s, you didn't hear about a lot of shipwrecks or anything because, unlike today, there was not really an internet. Well, there wasn't an internet. So you just got what there was from the news or newspapers. But in the 1990s, I went to a sailing regatta, which happens quite often where I was born. And during looking around the stalls and everything, there were some people selling something which was linked to a shipwreck. Do you know what that is?
I'm going to take a guess there was something that was on the shipwreck, and it was money. And a tape.
Good guess when you're looking at it, isn't it?
I know!
That's like going answering questions on a quiz, saying, yeah, I'll take a guess while I'm looking at your answer card. But, yeah, it was about a shipwreck called the SS John Barry. Now, these people were there and they were talking about the shipwreck and also the recovery of the hidden treasures. Now, what you could get from them was you could actually buy a piece of the treasure, and when you did that, you also got a VHS video. Now, I haven't got a VHS plugged in at the moment because the last time I went... Cheeky. The last time I went to use one, it started chewing up my video. So, well, the video cassette. So I put it away for now. I kind of wish I got it back out again, to be honest. But you got this video cassette, and the label's faded because this was about... The shipwreck had the treasures removed in 1994, so you're looking at the mid to late 90s when I got this, so it was over 20 years ago. But it actually does say Blue Water Recoveries Treasure of the SS John Barry, and it's in a nice little case where they've got a certificate of authenticity written here, a picture of the SS John Barry, a picture of the wreck of the SS John Barry, and then a picture of the silver Riyal, which was the treasure that they actually brought up, but it wasn't the only treasure they were looking for. They were actually looking for something else as well.
What?
I'll tell you in a second. So, they were actually showing part of the video, and I have watched this, but it was a long time ago. And this was all about how they went about searching for the shipwreck and what they did to bring the coins up, and all the people that were involved in it. And there was one guy I remember, he kept talking a bit like a pirate, going, like going for treasure and stuff. So you had this, but the main thing you were buying was actually one of the silver Riyals. Now it's a Saudi Arabian Riyal, and there was over 1 million of these brought up, but what they was actually looking for was they were looking for bullion, gold bullion. And they were trying to find that, but at the time they didn't find any gold bullion. Now the reason is because the ship itself, I don't know if my wife is still looking at the coin now, the ship itself, if I open the middle, this is actually a really nice presentation piece because you've got this nice blue colour here where the coin is in its plastic to be shown. And they're actually in really good condition for something that was sat on the seabed, but it was sort of locked in boxes, so it kept them preserved quite nicely. And it's silver, so it's not like they're gonna rust or anything. And the coin actually is the same on both sides. But on the card, you've got the certificate of authenticity on this side. On this page, this tells you the story of what happened with the SS John Barry, about how it was torpedoed by a German U-boat, and also what it was carrying. And so what it was actually carrying was a lot of military equipment, so like trucks and tanks and stuff like that. But in cargo, well, in hold 2, where this red dot is, if the camera picks it up, that is where the treasure was. And so they knew that the treasure was going to be there of the coins, but they were supposed to be gold bullion. They were trying to find it, and at the time they didn't find it. So this actually tells you all the story about how it went out. The funny thing is, the ship was trying to take a lot of precautions to not get spotted. So it was keeping radio silence, and it didn't have any of its lights on to not be spotted. But what do you think gave it away?
It left its engine running.
They had to have their engines running, and the U-boat picked up on the engines, went along to it, fired 3 torpedoes, 2 of which hit, and the ship went down. Thankfully, only 2 souls lost their lives, but it's
Why do you make it seem like it's a good thing that 2 lost their life?
Because it could have been everybody. So out of all their crew, only 2 people went. It would have been better if nobody lost their lives, but it's not like it was thousands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the way you made it sounded like you were thankful.
Right, thankfully it wasn't more then.
There you go.
Do you want to go and work on a strawberry farm?
No.
Oh, shame, because you're quite picky.
Blink.
Right. And then on the back, it actually tells you the story about the recovery. So it tells you about in 1990 that the... Well, I'm showing the camera. Why don't you wait, and when I filmed it, you can go back and watch it, and then you'll see.
Because you never watched them again.
Yes, I do. And it tells you all about the story about how in 1990 they got the salvage rights, and then how in 91 they started looking for the wreck, and how they actually ended up finding it, and then finally they went down. Now, there is a bit of a discussion that you could have about shipwrecks and whether or not shipwrecks should be found and just documented, found and then things removed from it like treasures or artifacts, or whether they should be found, documented, and maybe every now and then just seeing how they are, but then leaving them alone. So tell us your thoughts in the comments. What should a shipwreck do? Should it be left alone and nothing removed? Should it have the treasures removed, or what?
So what should the shipwreck do?
What should people do with the shipwrecks then?
There you go.
Smart ass.
Well, that could have sounded completely different. It could have gone, okay, what can shipwrecks do? Can shipwrecks float?
Nitwit.
And there you go.
But anyway, this tells you all about that. And this is the claw that they sent down. It had a camera attached to it, and they broke through all the different decks to get to where the treasure was, and then they clawed up all the coins and picked them all up. And I don't know what the wreck is like right now. I've not seen it. There are videos on YouTube which shows the actual excavation happening. Some of them though are in a foreign language, so one day maybe I'll get a video out and be able to watch that one again. But I think it's great. It's a nice piece. Like, it's a bit of history from the war. Something that has actually been on a shipwreck and has been brought up. Now what I will say is, right here is, I'm going to turn it round that way, and if my wife will focus in on the coin, and I'll tell you what the coin says, because in the inner circle it says King Abdul Aziz, then it says IBN, I don't know how you say that, Saud,
comment.
S-A-U-D, and then the outer circle says the King of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Did you know that?
How?
It's written on here. On this side of the coin.
That's convenient.
It writes it here. Thankfully, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to read it. I barely read English half the time.
You're not wrong there.
You cheeky boy, ain't you? Hey?
To think though, you should really know English at least.
The only thing I wish though is I wish I could remember how much we actually paid for the video and the coin, because as a mark of history, it's a great thing.
Wait.
But on eBay right now, I know that these still come up for sale, and the last time I saw them, I think they were around $40 because they were in America. Now, when I found this, it was in a regatta in the UK that they came to, and were selling them there, and they've been selling them ever since. So they are a nice thing. They're something that's been on the seabed, something that is a relic of the war, has a bit of history to it, and is kind of a conversation piece. So what do you think? Do you like it? It's alright. It's alright, is it? Just alright?
Yes.
I wish that bear was sunk. But anyway, for now, that's going to be the end of this video, because I don't want to be smacked in the face by a bear anymore.
Well, I can ring some up.
But thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see anything else like this, might be difficult.
Why?
I ain't got nothing else like this.
That's convenient. You give people the option. If you want something else like this, tough luck, because he doesn't have anything else like this.
This is the only bit from a shipwreck I've got. But for now, thank you for watching.
Options if you don't have options.
We'll see you again. Bye bye.
Bye. And he's waving. I was questioning, what's the point of options if there are only one option? Answer.
Okay.
That's not an answer.
There isn't one. Get lost.